Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. And together, we turn great ideas into reality by accessing our networks, our experience, and the best of ourselves to make a difference. Around the world, Rotary brings leaders together to build new friendships and to solve problems. Like in Austria, where generations work side by side to build sustainable housing and community centers. In India, volunteers run a mobile blood bank to help provide a steady blood supply for their local community. And in Taiwan, people are working hard to get vulnerable citizens the support and services they need. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Take action with us. Find out more at Rotary.org/action.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time. It's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
with the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Monday morning. You're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The weekend is over. Well, not technically. It is a holiday today. It is President's Day. Isn't it a birthday? Isn't one of the president's birthday today? Is that why it's President's Day?
Is it? Oh.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh, because we used to do George Washington, Abe Lincoln, and they just decided to put them all together.
I think today is an actual one of the president's birthdays.
Yeah. All right. Let's go Washington.
I don't know. You can probably just type it into your old computer there. But you are listening live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. As always, you can watch ESPN Northwest Florida on Facebook, X. Are we coming back now?
Oh, no. I was just saying George Washington's birthday, and that's why I noticed you were talking, so I'm like, I love you. Get my hand
okay,
out of there.
I did. Sometimes when you put your hand up, that's usually I'm the listener. I'm a follower of directions, so I try to be in tune with hand signals and stuff like that. But anyway, you can watch and listen as always on our Facebook, X, and YouTube page. That's ESPN Northwest Florida. Do yourself a favor, click that follow, subscribe, repost when the show goes live. The more times it gets out there, better it is. We appreciate all of our listeners. You can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to put a little 104.3 in front of that ESPN Northwest Florida. And we're also excited to announce if you are a TikToker, The Inside Drive now has a TikTok page. You just need to search inside.drive, and if you do that, you'll find our TikTok page, and we'll post lots of clips from the show with a lot of our special guests, some of our funny moments we have here on the Inside Drive, and some behind-the-scenes stuff. So do us a favor. That'll help me out if you follow us on TikTok. Again, that's just inside.drive, and you'll find us there. Already several funny videos. If you're not a regular listener to the show, want to go back and see some of our funny stories that have happened. We're getting close to a year. March 1st is right around the corner. That'll be 10 months, only 2 months to go for that big 1-year anniversary show, which I've already talked to some local businesses, and I think we're going to do some fun giveaways and have some cool stuff going on for that. Jay, we're having a good show.
We are having a great show.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did.
A lot of rain this weekend.
It was a lot of rain.
But you had a little project you were working on, weren't you?
A big project.
In
Jay's world, big project.
No, in anybody's world. Those things are challenging to put together, that is for sure. What were you diving into this weekend?
Putting together a basketball goal.
Whew.
And if you get a chance to pay the extra money for pre-assembly, go ahead and do it.
Do it?
Yeah, I would.
Suggested? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I spent all weekend, and we finally got it up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But my weekend consisted of putting a basketball goal together up in the rain with my ex-wife.
Oh, so, there you go.
It was a great weekend.
Family activities, baby.
Sometimes you got to come back together to get that basketball goal built.
Anything for the kids.
That's right. It's all for the kids.
That's right.
It's all for the kids. Right. But yeah, having built one myself, that is certainly not a one-person job. And all it takes is one little oopsie pie, and you got to start all over again.
And that happened to me.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody, that's for sure. But I remember, and then after we built that basketball goal, a couple of years later, it got knocked over by the wind and then bent the rim, so I had to replace the rim. Not as difficult to replace the rim as build the entire hoop, I can tell you that much.
So.
That's for sure. That is, not quite as difficult. That is for sure. What is up, Caveman Rick? I know you're always listening and watching. We appreciate you sharing. And my New Jersey Devils got it done in their first ever outdoor stadium series game. I'm still trying to get them on the show. It's got to go through the New York Islanders, and I just haven't been able to get a response yet from them. But my good friend who grew up on the same street with me, Al Carl, he's the lead ice technician for the New York Islanders, but he was also helping out with the game on Saturday, and that was the Devils and the Flyers. He was one of the shovelers out there getting the snow up off the ice. Because when you play an outdoor game, the conditions are a lot different than an indoor game because you're at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Right.
And one of the different things is the Devils-Flyers game was played at night, so it was under the lights. So a lot of glare on the ice. You saw a lot of players wearing the eye black and that kind of stuff. But then the Rangers-Islanders game on Sunday afternoon, a little different story. Yeah. The sun had dipped behind the stadium. Obviously, there's no lights, no glare, so a little different. But both very cold, both in the 20s. And that changes that ice structure just a little bit. I don't know if you watched any of it all, but you see a lot more snow. And when I say snow, it's not snow falling from the ice. It's the ice that's chipped up when every time you make a cut, every time you stop. And when it's cold out there, you seem to see a lot more of that. That is for sure. So
I noticed there wasn't many seats within 30, 40 yards of the actual rink, and it seemed like that'd be a lot of money on the table.
Well, I think that the Devils Flyers game, and these aren't exact numbers, was somewhere around 60,000 people because and I'm not really sure why. I never heard them say why, but behind both of the goals, there wasn't anybody sitting in those seats. Whereas the Rangers-Islanders game on Sunday, it was everywhere. So I think you had about 80,000 people at the Rangers-Islanders game, where you had 60,000 people for the Devils-Flyers game.
And what was the temperature? I mean, it had to be 32, right?
Yeah. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because they have the cooling system under the ice, because that's what keeps the ice frozen in indoor arenas. Gotcha. Is that cooling system that they have under there, which in warmer climates, just like running your air conditioning, right? The warmer it is outside, the harder that system has to run inside. True. So ice time in the south is a lot more expensive than ice time in colder areas. That is for sure.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I think the Devils game, the air temperature was like 29, felt like 21 because of the wind chill. And I think the Islanders-Rangers game was just a little bit warmer than that. But when they do a lot of spectacle around these games, which is pretty cool, but that Devils-Islanders game, or Devils-Flyers game was cool because all the Flyers came out in Rocky outfits. They were wearing the sweatpants with the cutoff hoodie and all that stuff. And then Caveman Rick had sent me a message. And I didn't see it originally because I didn't pick up the game until really it got underway. Saturday, but all the Devils were basically wearing soprano outfits, and they had little espresso cups. And even when one of the Devils scored, he did the celebration for Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito with the New York Giants. So a lot of cool stuff went down, that's for sure.
Cool.
But yeah, and some firsts as well in the Stadium Series, which has been going on for a long time. But yeah, Nathan Bastian was the Devils forward that scored that goal and paid homage to Tommy DeVito in that viral celebration that he's did. And I thought it was cool too. On Sunday, the Rangers and Islanders both honored the police and firefighters from New York with the Stadium Series arrivals, wearing some really cool different jerseys and all that stuff. But yes, one of the players on the Rangers, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he made his NHL debut. It was the first ever player. There's been 40-ish outdoor games that have been played over the last 20 years or so. First ever player to make it. You got the name, David?
Matt Rimpe.
Matt Rimpe with the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
With the Rangers to make his NHL debut in an outdoor game.
Very cool.
How about them apples?
Yeah.
Your first ever game you play in the NHL, and it's not at an indoor rink.
It's like playing in the World Series, like your first game or something.
Yeah, you could say that. That's for sure.
That's cool.
That's for sure. And then you also had a first, I think, again, off the top of my head, if I remember it correctly, the Rangers were down by 3 goals. First ever team to come back from a 3-goal deficit and win an outdoor game as well. They won 6-5 in overtime. So the Devils won 6-3 against the Flyers, and the Rangers won 6-5 in overtime against the Islanders. So I think, those Stadium Series games, a lot of entertainment there, that is for sure. And like David was texting us, obviously bucket list to go to one of those things, but viewing live is certainly a little more challenging than viewing, on the TV, just because you're a little bit further away from the rink, because a hockey rink is tiny compared to a football field.
Right.
Now, they do some of them on baseball stadiums and stuff like that, but still, but I think it's just cool to mix it up. I mean, getting back to hockey's roots, right? Playing on a pond, and nothing better growing up than a fresh sheet of black ice on a pond on a Saturday morning and making those first cuts out there. It's
like fresh cut greens in the morning.
It's same thing.
Yeah.
It's peak. It's pinnacle. I just you don't get that a lot around here, though. That's for sure. Because there's two things you got to deal with when you're growing up playing pond hockey. Is it just cold enough for the ponds to freeze? But if you get precipitation, then you got to deal with the snow on the ice.
Right.
So you got to shovel the snow, and it makes the ice a little choppier because the snow will melt and it'll get in the ice. It'll make it not. You don't have any Zambonis out there on the pond hockey.
Play it as it lies.
That's it. There's nothing better than a fresh sheet of pond hockey or lake hockey ice. That is for sure, with no snow. It's black. You get a little nervous though, because you hear the ice. It's not that it's cracking, but it's shifting. It's settling, right? So you'll hear the reverberations of the sound going through all that ice, and it's a very unique sound. And if you grew up playing pond hockey, you probably know that sound very familiar. TikTok is on Inside Drive. Yes, it is, Mike. It should maybe just search Inside Drive. I know our actual handle on TikTok is inside.drive, but I will post the link to it in the comments as well if anybody's trying to jump on that, Mike. But we appreciate you giving us a follow, that's for sure, as we're putting all sorts of fun content on there. But always good having some Stadium Series action, that is for sure. But the Devils desperately needed that win because they are currently 2 points behind that final wild card spot on the eastern side of the playoff race, with only about, let's see, they usually go through the end of middle of April there. So what's that? 2 months, a little over 2 months. So got to start winning some more games. But they got Nico Dawes that's helping out in net minding as well. Akira Schmidt is not playing as much, so hopefully that'll help. Jack Hughes is back. That's a huge addition. But the power play was really wild. I think the Flyers scored 1 power play goal, but up until then, I think both teams were 0 for 7 on the power play. But Philadelphia's got an unbelievable penalty kill. Yeah. I think they've got 13 shorthanded goals on the season, which leads the league. You know what a shorthanded goal is?
I do not. Please. That's
why I asked. A shorthanded goal is when the other team is on a power play. Do you know what a power play is?
Well, it's like 5 versus 3 or 6 versus 2.
5 versus 4.
6 versus 2. There it is.
Yeah, maybe that's what they should do.
How many players on a hockey team?
5 on the ice at one time.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then you have your goalie, so it is technically 6.
Oh.
But 5 skaters, 3 forwards and 2 defensemen.
Okay.
So typically when a penalty happens, a regular penalty, a minor penalty, is a 2-minute infraction. So whoever commits that penalty, a hook, a hold, a slash, a trip, a rough, whatever it may be, they have to sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes. So you're playing 5-on-4 plus your 2 goalies for 2 minutes. Now, if a goal is scored by the team that's on the power play, that ends the power play, and then the player comes out of the box and the other team goes back to full strength.
Let's confuse them a little bit more, unless it's a major.
Unless it's a major, which is typically fighting, which is 5 minutes. But when you have fighting, that's 2 players fighting, both offset, and you still play full strength. Now, you could have a roughing, but there's also 4-minute penalties as well. A 4-minute penalty, typically it would be a high sticking that draws blood. So a high sticking penalty that doesn't draw blood is 2 minutes, where a 4-minute penalty is a high sticking where there's a cut and bleeding and stuff like that. And in a 4-minute penalty, if you score, you continue on that power play.
It seems like hockey's more penalizing than basketball or whatever. I mean, it seems like you would want your team to be very, very cognitive of not fouling and keeping most players on the ice, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, penalties are certainly a bit. It's very different because it's a disadvantage for an extended period of time, where in basketball, fouls lead to shooting and then potentially lead to players being fouled out for the game. So, very, very similar. Hockey is similar to lacrosse, except lacrosse, I think, has 1-minute penalties when it comes to infractions that remove a player from the field at that point. But I said all that to say that Philadelphia has an excellent penalty kill and really stifled the Devils' power play in that particular game. But a lot of fun to watch, no doubt about that. And Stadium Series games are always a good time. And standings going in a little bit after the All-Star break, the final push here. Like I said, the Devils are 2 point. Not everybody cares about the Devils, but I do, so I'm going to talk about them just like I talk about the 49ers. They are currently 2 games behind the Red Wings, who are holding down the second wild card spot with 62 points. David Hayes' Tampa Bay Lightning have 65 points. They're holding down that number 1 wild card spot. But the Rangers, the Panthers, the Hurricanes, and the Flyers are 1, 2, and 3 in the Metropolitan Division. And then the House Money Cats just took the lead over the Boston Bruins as they scored 9 goals against the Lightning the other night.
Boy, that was hard to watch.
And that's how it goes sometimes. It's, each game is to its own. But those Florida Panthers, who eliminated the Boston Bruins last year in the playoffs after the Boston Bruins set the NHL record for most points ever scored in a regular season, have currently taken over the lead for the best point total in the Eastern Conference, which is pretty impressive there, that's for sure. And over on the Western Conference side, you got the Dallas Stars, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Winnipeg Jets, 1, 2, and 3 in the Central Western Conference Division. And then the Vancouver Canucks, who are leading all of the NHL. They got a loaded team with all those great players they have out there. They got 80 points, and then the Vegas Knights at 68, the Edmonton Oilers at 65, and then you got the Los Angeles Kings and the St. Louis Blues holding down 1 and 2 in that wild card spot. And once that finishes up, you get 8 teams on each side. They play 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. You can figure out the rest from there. So we'll keep you updated on all of the NHL action, finishing up the rest of the season. That is for sure. Just always fun. And the Devils had never played in an outdoor stadium game before, so it's kind of exciting to see that. Yeah. They had Bruce Springsteen's drummer was doing some announcements before the game. And a little fun fact, I stayed on the corner of 10th and E Street, where that's in Belmar, New Jersey, which was just a few roads down where the E Street Band grew up. On 5th and E Street is where Bruce Springsteen started there in Belmar.
You said you stayed at 10th and E?
Yes, I lived at a guest house when I was working at up there at Deal Country Club in New Jersey on the kind of north end of the Jersey Shore. But yeah, right there in Belmar, E Street and 10th Ave where I was at, and 5th Avenue and E Street is where Bruce Springsteen and his band come up. That's why it was called the E Street Band originally, and they also had the song 5th Street Freeze Out. So a lot of fun facts there for you today
no kidding.
on this Monday morning. But a lot of cool stuff going on with that. A lot to talk about, especially in the golf world. There was some crazy stuff that went down this weekend at the Riviera Golf Club, Riviera Country Club in the Genesis Open. I always thought Genesis was part of Hyundai, but I guess Genesis is its own car company now.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. They had the CEO of Genesis USA on the broadcast, because I actually watched some golf this weekend, PGA Tour golf nonetheless. I was pulling for my boy. He's not my boy at all. I don't know why I bet on him, Patrick Cantlay. Turns out he had 100-degree fever going into Sunday, and that's why he shot one over. But some other players that I know, if they don't feel good, they just quit. We'll talk about that later when we get back. Go ahead, David.
Genesis is made by Hyundai. It's just like their luxury.
It's their luxury brand. Okay, gotcha. So it's kind of like Lexus and Toyota, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
Luxury.
And it's kind of wild, though. Like, all right.
Yeah, sure. Interesting.
Well, I mean, if Tiger's going to put his name on it, it's got to be luxury, right?
Sunday Red, baby. Sunday Red.
I got so much discussion about it.
I was going to go into it, but
we'll jump into that in our next break. That's for sure. I want to make sure on the break I'll get this TikTok link posted in the comments of today's show. But tell everybody what you got coming up here in March for all the kids, because it is all about the kids, right? That's why you built that basketball hoop.
That's right. It is all about the kids. No, we have spring golf is finally around the corner. We're starting March 11th. Only a few spots, ages 7 to 12. And it's golfwithjay.com to get your kids signed up. We'll do Mondays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. That will allow everybody enough time to get to Bay Point. And that's going to go for 8 weeks, all the way until May 6th. But yeah, get signed up. We're going to do chipping, putting, driving, do some on-course competitions. Michael Shears, if he's in town, he's going to be available. He is a UGA golfer, former UGA golfer, great golfer, great person. Mark Douglas, also you probably know Mark. Mark's been around the club for quite some time, and he's a great golfer as well. He's got 2 kids that are also be in the program. Only a few spots do remain. Again, it's www.golfwithjay.com to get signed up. Click on that student clinic booking, and you'll see the information there when you click on student clinic booking.
There you go.
Yep.
You can't say there's not opportunities for your kids over the next few months to get better at the game of golf or just learn the game of golf. That's the beauty about instruction with golf, right? It can be an introduction, or it can be just honing your skills when you have these group clinics and these group sessions versus, if they're good golf or bad, whatever, they can also work on an individual basis with you as well.
Yeah, and the beauty of this hour is that 1 hour of it, the kid's got a club in his hands. Yep. There's been many programs where I've seen where you may not, the kid may not touch a club until 3 or 4 weeks into the program. We get straight to the point. I think the more you keep the clubs in the kids' hands, the better they're going to get. It becomes an extension of them, moving forward. So it's big, it's huge, and
I see what you did there with a little extension pun, right?
Yeah, it was.
Extension is part of the game of golf.
That's it. Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Club is an extension of the body.
Yep. It is.
Hopefully I got my new, some good stuff. starting the week off hot here.
Yes.
Also want to give a shout out real quick to 850 Athletics. It's a little baseball, softball, indoor practice facility over there, kind of where Pete Edwards Field is-ish. I'm not cleared for activity until March 1st as far as more strenuous stuff and throwing a football, even though we may or may not thrown a football during warm-ups a couple weeks ago, but that's neither here nor there. So I wasn't able to take Liam, but my mom took Liam to over there to 850 Athletics, and they don't have as many pitching machines, or you got to request a pitching machine or bring your own pitching machine. So one of the gentlemen there, who I believe is involved with the Arnold baseball team, threw pitches to Liam for about 30 minutes out of the hour he was working. So I very much appreciate that. I want to give them a shout out and all that good stuff. And when we get back, it'll be time to talk golf. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, including the Florida Swing getting underway here pretty shortly. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, college basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.
Oh, you saw that coming, Radford.
The biggest games play right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a high near 59 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a very light wind and a temperature of 43. About the same tomorrow, around 61 with sunshine and a wind at 5 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest. Quite warm with a high around 65 and sunny Wednesday. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
My name is Linda Cope, founder and president of Warrior Beach Retreat. Line the streets February 22nd to honor the men and women who have served and sacrificed for the freedoms we enjoy. Attend the ceremony, which is free and open to the public, February 22nd at 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church of Panama City. Colonel Alan West will be the speaker. Information for the parade route and ceremony are on our website, warriorbeachretreat.org. Never forget, freedom isn't free. We saw this firsthand after our son, Army retired Sergeant Joshua Cope, lost both legs above the knee and wounded his hands by an IED blast in Baghdad, Iraq. When a soldier goes to war, a family goes to war. We are a local 501c3 charity not affiliated with Wounded Warrior Project. Donations are needed and much appreciated for us to continue the vision to bring hope and healing for the combat wounded warriors and their loved ones. God bless you all, and God bless America.
The locals love him.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, welcome back. Monday morning here in Bay County, Florida Panhandle. Beautiful white sandy beaches. It's almost March 1st, which is crazy, but you know what that means, Jay?
What does that mean?
People are coming into town to enjoy what we have to offer here.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner. What's today's date? The 19th.
So will the sign start appear, no alcohol on sandy white beaches or whatever that says?
Correct.
Or what is it? I forget
no
what it
alcohol on the white sandy beaches.
Yeah, there you go.
But sandy white beaches works just as well.
Right.
It's the same thing. There's no difference there. But you are listening to the Inside Drive. Just want to remind everybody, too, we just started a TikTok page, so go check us out there. It's inside.drive. Or if you just click on our live Facebook show today, I have posted that link to the TikTok page in our comments, so you can just click on that and sign up. And something we're trying to do just to get us out there a little bit more. And if you give us a share there on Facebook and give us a subscribe on YouTube, we appreciate that as well. And if you're listening, you got a local business, our engagements are getting up. The station, the listening ship is going through the roof as we continue to progress. We got 3 great live local shows here on ESPN Northwest Florida, and we'd love to help talk and promote your business.
Yeah, can I give a testimony? It happened yesterday. It was fantastic.
Testimony away.
All right, so me and Parker and a good friend of his went to Academy. Before we went to Academy, we stopped in an Instant Replay, the card store that we, Aaron Bearden.
Aaron Bearden, good friend of the show, every Friday at 12:20.
Yeah, and great. I love doing that segment. It's great. But anyways, we walk in and, introduce myself. And so I'm like, guys, y'all can get any, like a pack of cards if you want, whatever. So they end up getting some NBA cards from Aaron's dad, Bobby.
Yeah.
And so
that guy is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, he is. And so check this out. So we go in and they rip the pack open, and Parker's good friends ends up with 2 Wembanyama rookie cards. Yeah.
Damn.
So they're all excited.
Of course.
Yeah.
A base Wembanyama is worth like $20.
Right. That's what I told him. So they're all pumped up, right?
They believe you. With all your knowledge of
cards. Oh, yeah. I'm like, go to Beckett.com or whatever you do. I don't know. So we go into Academy. Well, then some of the basketball friends they see in the Academy. Well, then the next thing you know, Parker's friends like, check this out. I got my Wembanyama card, right?
Yep.
All right. So then there's one kid that goes, there's a card place in the shopping center? I go, yeah, it's at the end down there.
Yep.
So, it just, all of a sudden, these kids were like, there's a cards place down there. So it was great.
Yeah.
It was a great story.
Talking about Kids Rip Night on Friday nights?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
2 Wembanyama cards?
2 of them.
God.
I know.
That kid needs to go buy me a lottery ticket.
Yeah. And Parker ended up with a James Harden.
Harden. James
Harden.
Not the fish, but the basketball player.
Yes.
I think there's a fish called a Harding. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. But yeah.
But anyways, that was just advertisement at its finest right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a great store down there and lots of cool stuff. And they got their big break coming up this Thursday. And originally I was going to go, but then I was reminded that the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce annual awards dinner is coming up this Thursday as well. And being on the board of directors of the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce and not having a conflict with sports this year, me and Beth will be attending that. We're actually going to be sitting with Chris Kramer. So it should be,
there you go.
Should be a good time. But that big break, still some spots open. listen, and you can go to instantreplaycards.com and go ahead and put that name in there because there are some unbelievable boxes. I can't wait to see some of the hits that are going to come out of that box.
Oh, yeah.
Some good times. Also, coming up on March 8th, we got the big Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance Charity Golf Tournament, second annual one, raising funds for the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance, and part of that is an opportunity to buy a raffle ticket for $25 for an opportunity to win one of two Sig Sauer pistols, one being a P365X Macro and the other one being a P320 M18. Have a chance to win both of those for just $25. All it takes is one ticket to win, but why just buy one when you can buy multiple, especially with such a good cause that is going to, and I know, Jay, you're very involved with that cause as well, and helping out our veterans with disabilities and PTSD, Special Olympics, kids with disabilities, all that good stuff, all through therapy with golf, which is some good stuff, that is for sure. But second annual tournament coming up on that one, and I know it's getting pretty close to being sold out, so if you want to get in, reach out to James Tipton or any of the other board members with the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance. Speaking of golf, a lot of things happened in that Genesis Open over there at Riviera Country Club, one of the signature events there on the PGA Tour. And which one do you want to start with?
I don't know. I feel bad because over the weekend, I'm sure you got my text, and I was a little harsh. I was a little harsh on the Tiger thing because, I mean, do you ever hear the story about the boy who cried wolf?
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's Tiger Woods.
Well, it's not like it's happened twice. It's happened like a half a dozen, maybe more times.
Yeah, exactly.
And we talked a little bit about it on Friday, right? Because he hit that shank on Thursday and was in because of back spasms and all that stuff. And I always got to the point. And if you know me by now, I like Tiger, but I was never like a Keith Fleming, like a diehard Tiger fan. I just never dove completely into like being obsessed, where I was buying his clubs, his clothes, and all that stuff. But so that happened. Well, then on Friday, about, I don't know, I think it was a little more than halfway through his round.
Seventh hole, I think?
Yeah, seventh hole. Yeah. So not halfway through his round. He ends up withdrawing due to flu-like symptoms. He ended up having the flu. It was very dramatic. He got IVs in the locker room, and, you know, the ambulance was out there beside it and all that stuff. So, you know, again, if he had the flu and he had to withdraw, fine.
Right.
That's one of those things.
Yeah.
But that brings me to the question, does he just need to hang it up? Does he just need to be done, or is he really only playing golf now to promote his new brand, Sunday Red? What do you think the motive is? I'm just curious to hear what you guys both think on that one.
Is he chasing 18 majors?
He's not going to win another major. I lost that bet a few years ago, and I'm fine with it. I paid Brian Cornelius the $100 because I said he would never win a major again, and then he won the Masters in 2019. But here we are, 5 years later?
Yeah.
Was it 2019?
Well, 2019, the Masters, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a common theme amongst superstars, and the superstars, to me, never know when the right time is to hang it up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
You know, I'm thinking about Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino is in, they mentioned on ESPN today about, this is the worst 10-game stretch of basketball games, and he's with St. John, right? I think he's with St. John.
I don't know. You're the one who brought up Rick Pitino.
But Pitino's up in age. He's been coaching since 1985.
Yeah.
Like, I would want to just leave this legacy on a great note. And unfortunately,
you see it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened with Bill Belichick.
Thank you.
You know, it's quite common in sports, and that's a whole thing we could talk about as well, is, when to hang it up.
2019 Sunday, everybody was in tears. That would have been a perfect time.
Right off into the sunset.
Yes.
You're done.
Yep.
So that brings me back to the question I asked. Do you think he's just playing? I mean, he said he's going to try to play once a month. He played in the Target Hero World Challenge. This is his first, because that's not really part of the PGA Tour schedule, right? So this is his first PGA Tour event of the year. It's a signature event, first place, $4 million, huge purse in this one, very similar to the LIV Tour, and he has to withdraw. In the first round, he's having back trouble. The second round, he ends up getting the flu, so he has to withdraw. I don't know if he's going to make the cut anyway. Yeah. So is it time? Did he just retire, or is he going to try to keep playing golf to promote this brand of Sunday Red?
Yeah, I mean, unless he's waiting for Charlie to make that next step, and then him kind of take the reins of Charlie. And Charlie is not quite there.
No.
He's not quite there.
No, Charlie's good.
Yeah.
but is he PGA Tour good?
And that's what he's waiting on, I believe. Yeah. And so,
we talk about how difficult it is. I mean, we had a great segment on Friday with, or was that Thursday, with Michael Shears talking about the difficulties and trying to make it and what you really have to focus on. You know, just because he's Tiger Woods' kid and he's a decent golfer doesn't mean he's going to make it to that next level.
That's true.
I mean, where's he going to play college golf first? You know, was he 16 years old? 15,
I don't
14,
think he's
something like that.
He's like 14. So
Gotcha.
I mean, he's not even quite there yet. But I don't know. I hate it. I mean, because I'm almost not Keith Fleming Tiger Woods. I mean, he's out there.
No, he's in.
Yeah,
he's all in on Tiger.
He's in.
And even he was you're starting to see some of these Tiger diehards changing their song a little bit. Not that they're not supporting him, but they're like, all right, you know, we get all this anticipation, all this excitement to see, and he still moves the needle. There's no doubt about that, and I'm not saying he doesn't move the needle. But is it time, because every time you go out there and play, there's something happening that's distracting from all these other guys on the PGA Tour that, you know, there's 71, there's 71 in the field, so 70 other players playing this in this event, and they're kind of getting pushed out of the limelight. And yesterday's finish in the Riviera is one of the best I've seen in a long time. So what do you think?
I go back to 09 U.S. Open, Torrey Pines.
Torn ACL.
08, torn ACL.
Yep.
You know, he doesn't play 72 holes of golf. He plays 72 plus 18 holes of golf on a broken leg.
Yep, torn ACL.
Torn ACL.
Yeah.
And he was in the lead, and he played against Rocco Mediate, and he beat Rocco on a torn ACL. What's different between now and, 15 years ago? I know he's a little bit younger, but I don't like the way that I don't like the way he's telling society it's okay to give up, and that's what he's done since 2019. I mean, he has even played 4 full rounds of golf. I mean, it's always something come Friday or Saturday. It's either a leg, a hip, a shoulder. I mean, it's something. So I think he needs to hang it up.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, he can still promote his brand without playing. All right, Dave, we kept you on hold there for a little while. What do you think about the whole Tiger Woods situation? You know, you're a golf fan, but you haven't been in golf your entire life. So fair to say you're kind of a little bit on the outside looking in. So I'd love to hear your perspective on where Tiger is now and what do you think about it?
First, I want to say the first thing that Jay came in saying Friday is, hey, if he doesn't have a good first couple of holes, watch, he's going to withdraw.
Bingo.
And the thing that where I don't like it is that it was back spasms on Thursday and then it's illness on Friday. That's what I don't like about this situation. But here's the other thing. You talk about moving the needle. Would those other golfers who are not in the limelight or whatever rather have Tiger Woods there or the 157th player in the world? They would rather have Tiger Woods there. Why? Because he's going to bring people there, the eyes to it. So I do wonder, with him withdrawing, it seems selfish, like he is just playing, you know what I mean? But if he really isn't able to make it through, and let's say that he's doing this for the game of golf, because even before we ever even heard about Sunday Red, he was still trying.
Yeah.
So the comparison to the brand is absolutely fair to try to build a brand, but I think Tiger Woods could never step foot on a golf course, and if he wants to grow that brand, he's going to be able to grow that brand.
He's still Tiger Woods.
I think that it's with Bill Belichick, you bring up that situation. It's like when Bill Belichick is faltering, he's causing 55 other men and also coaching staffs to falter. When Tiger Woods is faltering, it's affecting Tiger Woods and Tiger Woods basically alone.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and again, like you said,
maybe the PGA Tour as well, and the ratings and that kind of stuff.
But it only helps the ratings, though. Maybe when he pulls out, but when he is in that tournament, more eyeballs are going to be on that
Sorry,
tournament.
I thought about it backwards. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the thing is I can only imagine what the struggle is of, like, you have this idea in your mind of where you should be playing. And you are playing with your buddies and stuff, and it's like, I can do this. I can still compete at this high level.
Yeah.
And then you get into that high level situation, and it's like, my body's just not holding up. And I do love the point that you made, Jay, about it is, as much as you're wanting to play, it's still not the greatest example setting, like, hey, well, you know, you can start, but you don't have to finish.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I can only imagine the struggle he's going with, because it's hard for us, I think, to understand what it's like to be at a place that is way better than everyone else. You know what I mean?
I mean, he was by far the best golfer, in the last, let's go back to, probably 2010-ish.
I was thinking 06, 07.
Okay, so from 96 to, when he won the U.S. Open in 08, by far, hands down, the best in the sport, with not even close. Phil Mickelson snuck in there and won a couple times, but Tiger was by far the most dominant. I forget how many weeks he was ranked number one in the world and all that. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to speak about it, and I sometimes I catch myself trying to not be so critical because I don't know what it's like to be the best of the best in the sport, and then to not be able to physically do it anymore. That's got to be just catastrophic on your mental side of things. And, I can't speak to that because I've never done that. But looking at it from the outside, and, at least this one was a signature event where he was playing as a sponsor's exemption, because you guys told me on Friday that he didn't take a spot from somebody else. He had a sponsor's exemption to play in this event. So now that brings up the second point of this question. When some of these other events that he's planning on playing on, like, is he going to play? We're about to jump into the Florida Swing, right? Is he going to play at TPC Sawgrass? Is he going to play at Bay Hill? Where is he going to play? And at that time, is he taking a spot from somebody else that may desperately need it, that are young in their career, trying to advance their career, trying to stay in this game of golf and make some money? I mean, Tiger doesn't need money. He's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going to see what's going to happen in those events. What's that going to look like if he's playing in these events where, he actually somebody is not able to play because he is taking that physical spot from that player. What do you think about that?
Well, when we walk a golf course, what do you think mileage-wise 18 holes is on a typical golf course? 5 miles?
Yeah, 5 miles.
Honestly, I think Tiger needs to reassess and make sure. Every time I watch him walk, I cringe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is awful.
Yep.
And so I think he needs to step back to fundamentals and see if he can walk 5 miles, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not easy, especially on golf courses they play. I mean, once they get to Florida, it'll be a little flatter, but, Riviera, that's super undulated. I mean, and you're making these shots from these lies and stability, and, he's had how many back surgeries has he had now? I mean, Freddie Couples had to shorten his PGA Tour career because of all the back trouble he was having, but obviously he went on to have a good senior tour career there as well. But, it's just, it's a weird, interesting topic, that's for sure.
I kind of liken it to the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Like, these young kids got to pay their dues.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a reason why coaches are going to go get guys that are already established and they know what they bring. And so what I mean by that is with Tiger Woods, like the PGA Tour, what do they want? Right? Are they going to want to have 2 rounds of Tiger Woods, or are they going to want to have a spot for someone else? Now, I'm all for the spots and everything. Yeah. It's just one of those things. Hey, they got to pay their dues. And so you get the opportunity. To me, it's a Tiger decision, and you can make it selfish. Like, he can make it selfishly and be about himself.
He's earned that position to make that decision.
That's kind of where I'm at. Is like it's really up to him. And if the PGA Tour has a problem with that, then Jay Monahan. But think about that conversation, or whoever it is that's running the PGA Tour right now, going up to Tiger.
Tiger's running it.
Hey, you're right. Hey, you're kind of taking the spotlight away from the youth. You know what I mean? Like that.
See, and Caveman Rick had commented on the Facebook post or our Facebook feed for today and kind of said one of those things. I mean, what if the PGA Tour, on the opposite point of that, is putting the pressure on Tiger and saying, hey, you've got an exemption in this tournament. We need you to show up. We are struggling right now. Our ratings are on the decline. With you being there, it moves the needle for us and keeps us relevant. So you have to show up. So I can see where that's certainly a potential motive as well.
And another way to grow that Sunday Red. You want to talk about Sunday Red blowing up?
Make it to Sunday.
Make it to Sunday would be huge. That is the best possible answer out there. Secondarily would be pick up, go to live. Why? 54 holes.
Yeah.
If you want to ride a
car,
and live,
the golf world would explode.
The golf world would explode. So, hey, just turn this thing upside down, baby.
Ooh. Yeah, you never know. Never know. With all that being said, we'll continue this fun conversation when we get back. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida on this fun Monday, February 19th. Go follow us on TikTok. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdog.
I don't think that many fans really honestly care about these players making money, and they should be allowed to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. Now, with it being and I'm using the air quotes here, amateur sport, it shouldn't be pay to play. Yeah, there you go. But it should not be,
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located 2241 East Baldwin Road. Running now through March 5th, we've got a 10% discount on new units as well as order outs. And there's a couple aged units in there that will have an additional 5 or 10% discount to them. Come see me, Rick, at RV of Panama City, your Stormore portable building dealer, located 2241 East Baldwin Road.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Have a quick stretch first.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
Must have pulled something playing hoops last week.
And Jay Henley.
I know you're not putting that rock up from here. You ain't got no Jay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Jay, you ever had any Gator golf shoes?
No. Have you?
No. But there was a store in Augusta, Georgia it's still there. It's called Bonaventure Golf.
Yep.
Classic store. It's been there forever. It's just an old warehouse. And the Waters family owned it. And used to go, L.D. Waters was like the patriarch of that entire family. But they always had an entire section in there with the old FootJoy classics. And had bought a few. I mean, most of them were still spiked FootJoy classics with the wooden soles. Nice. And they had some really cool. It's just you can't play golf in those shoes anymore. They're so heavy. They're so uncomfortable, and your feet are just. I mean, especially nowadays. I mean, these golf shoes that they're making, we carry a lot of them out there at Bay Point Golf Club. We even started carrying the New Balance golf shoes. They're insanely lightweight and comfortable, and it's just crazy how it's changed. But something about the old FootJoy classic, all white, maybe a little lizard leather print on there, and wooden sole, just makes you feel like you're going to hit a nice tight wedge shot from 100 yards.
No, I never put on the Gators. Yeah, I never did. I mean, what part of the Gator would those come from?
What part do you want?
Well,
not the belly. Not the belly. Not the belly, but yes, all the top part there.
I do remember them, though. They were scale. It was legit Gators.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Scales. Absolutely. A couple and you still have like LEN, who makes all these really high-end belts. Luckily, I had a good relationship with the rep, and he was able to send me some, because there's no way in hell I would have been able to afford them. And I wear them all the time, and one of them's a real Nile crocodile from Africa. But they don't kill the gator to get it. The gator dies, they find the gator, and then they make the belt.
Okay.
Yeah. So all you people out there that are worried about that, don't worry. It's a dead gator that already died, and they made it happen.
That's right.
So, but pretty cool.
That is cool.
When I heard the old Gator Boots rejoiner there, it made me think of the old FootJoy classic golf shoes.
What was MSRP of those things back in the day? Were they like $400 or something?
They were expensive. They were expensive. I mean, golf shoes and putters. Just now you can find some really good affordable shoes, but if you today's our last day for the President's Day sale as well. 30% off all outerwear and select golf bags. Staff pricing there, which means 10% over cost. I've seen crocodile in the Nile, Timothy Vermette said. Interesting there. Yes, that's I have that white belt. It's got a little bit of wood in it. It's some good stuff. Sometimes I can't read the comments that Caveman Rick writes live on the air, but if you
can't wear that white belt till Good Friday.
That's true. Got to well, not just proofread, just make sure the topic is airworthy, because I don't want to say anything I shouldn't say. But yeah, if you're going to wear a white belt, you can't just go out there with a white belt on and hack it around. You got to know what you're doing.
But you got to wear it after Easter. Is that right?
No. It's Labor Day. It's Labor Day, but you can't wear white after Labor Day. But if you're in the golf world, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can wear white whenever the heck you want.
I got you.
Pink shirt, white belt, white shoes, and like a stone-colored khaki pant. It's peak.
I like it.
So good.
I thought you were going to go seersucker on me.
Ooh, I do have a pair of pink seersucker pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that still in style today?
I don't think so.
No.
I think you can wear it to like church on Easter, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They felt so good, though.
They did. Well, hey, how about a good pair of linen pants?
Yes.
Whew.
But good luck trying to get them thing ironed out.
Yeah, linen pants, it's like one and done. You buy it, it looks good, you wear it once, and then you got it unless you take it to the dry cleaners. But that's tough.
My pocketbook has never been able to do that one.
Shoot.
We're just one and done and just get rid of them?
No. They look really good the one time. And if you don't take them to the dry cleaners.
Oh, I got you.
The tough part about it, like a cream-colored pair of linen pants, too, is if you wear them to play golf and you get a stain on them, that stain's there and it is committed.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But you could pull off the linen pants in South Carolina in July because, yes, it was hot, but the linen pants they kept you nice and cool.
Yep.
I don't know.
We're getting there. We're close. It's supposed to be in the 70s by Friday.
I know it. We're getting closer to coming up on the warmer weather. That's for sure. It's trending.
Feels like the 90s in here.
Yeah, it is a little toasty in here today. I'm glad I wore a lightweight pullover representing Beach House Sales and Development.
Looks good.
This is the Gavin Bird green, by the way.
Is it?
You know how he's got his brand, the GB brand?
Yeah.
He's got this green. This is his green.
Oh.
The Gavin Bird green. He should trademark it, but that's just my opinion.
Kelly green, if you will.
Yeah, I think you could say it's Kelly green.
Yeah.
Irish Kerrygold butter from Ireland. You ever had that?
No.
It's good butter.
It could be on the St. Patrick's Day. Oh, St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
One of my favorite days of the year, being the Irish fellow. My middle name's Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm very Irish, Scottish, and Italian. That is for sure.
You got a third of everything.
That's right.
I like it.
That's right. No, anyway, getting back to golf, one of the fun things that we talked about last Friday is we kind of did Fan Topic Friday. And Keith Fleming said, what is one of the rules in sports that you would change? Well, guess what happened to Jordan Spieth on Friday after his round of golf tournament? He signed for an incorrect scorecard and got disqualified from the tournament. What do you think about all that?
That qualifies for one. As far as that being, like, they got to get rid of that.
Like, why?
Come
like,
on.
I get it. Golf, you're trying to hang on to traditions and the gentleman's game and all that other BS. But you know what? We got the Live Tour. You just had the Wasted Management Phoenix Open. Like, every other sport, can y'all tell me another sport where the player is responsible for keeping score? Even cornhole, they have people keeping score for them.
True.
When you're playing like some rec league basketball,
but professional sports, yeah. So there's your answer.
You got to reach a long way,
absolutely. And then you even have discrepancies in that one, but no one's getting DQ'd for it,
right? Unless they start fighting,
yeah, which can happen.
It's not a DQ; it's a KO.
And I'm really trying to find one.
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Like even table tennis. See how I used its official name? They're keeping score for you on that one as well. At the highest levels of the sport is what I'm referring to. I'm not just talking about, playing table tennis in your friend's basement. Do we have basements here in the Panhandle?
I don't think so.
Yes, but they're still above the ground level. So that's not really a basement, right? It's just the bottom floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it in New Jersey. We had a basement.
Sure, yeah. I did too, living up in Atlanta.
There you go.
You gotta have a basement.
There you go.
Pool table.
Yep, pool table, ping pong table, air hockey table, all that good stuff. I never had a pool table, but I had the air hockey table.
It was always musty down there.
Always musty.
Yeah.
You had to have the sump pump to in case it ever flooded. You needed to pump it out and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Always a little musty.
It was.
And always cool.
It was, yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Very tropical, if you will.
Humidity. Yeah. Well, especially you in Atlanta. I mean, the summers, that basement had to be steamy.
It was.
Like a sauna.
But that's where I spent most of my time, though, just as a teenager.
That's right.
Just shooting pool and other things.
Yeah, we won't talk about those other things, but that's why the basement separates the top floor there from the bottom floor.
That's it.
Good times.
Game on.
But anyway, getting back to that point, there's no other professional sport that the score isn't being kept for them, whether it's a team sport or even tennis. Tennis is kept by a judge. So why we still have this stupid rule in golf where, I mean, you've got the scores being kept. Yes, I get it. It's tradition to sign a scorecard. You're the score, because you have to exchange scorecards. You're never keeping your own score in golf.
Right.
But you've got all these eyes on you. So I think that is one of the rules for sure that needs to be changed. Ian, yes, he does have a basement. That's true. But it's technically not below the ground level. It's below the ground level in the front, I think. But
we have somebody here that has a basement.
Yes. My good friend, Mr. Ian Crelling.
Very cool.
Got a basement. So there you go. And he's got all those fun activities down there as well.
Yes.
So one of the rules to change in sports, stop DQing people for signing for an incorrect scorecard.
Yeah.
And I had thought that had gotten changed, but apparently it didn't. I don't know. I thought they had changed that, but I don't know, apparently. But we do have a caller on the line as our good friend of the show. That's Lynn Haven. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm great, guys. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing wonderful. Hoping they'll get rid of this stupid rule in golf where if you sign for I believe it's a lower scorecard, you get disqualified. We had Lynn Haven. Rob, just give us a call back, David. Let me know when he's back on the line. But I think the rule that was changed, and again, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but back in the day, if you signed for a higher score, you had to take it.
Right.
I think they got rid of that portion of the signing for the scorecard. But if you sign for a score that is lower than what you actually shot, you get disqualified for the tournament.
Who do we need to contact? We need to figure something out.
The USGA and the RNA.
Yeah.
Is it Mike Davis still? All right, we got Lynn Haven, Rob back on the line. Rob, go ahead. How are you? Nope, maybe not. Keep trying. We'll get you on there. That is for sure. We had change it. Just get rid of it. It's stupid. Everybody knows what they shot. They've got cameras and walking markers and all that stuff. They got all these people out there with each group. There's a scorer for each group that's also responsible for the golfers.
That's right.
And I get it. It's golf. It's tradition. It's the oldest sport. Yada 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 yada. But it's time. It's time to change.
Yes, it is.
Let's get with it. Even Rory. But now your boy Rory McIlroy came out and said Jordan knows better and kind of criticized him a little bit for doing that.
Really?
Yeah. I'll have to pull up Golf Magic because they love that kind of stuff. But yes, change that rule. It is stupid. Everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, the golf we deal with, right? When you're hosting tournaments and stroke play and college golf and stuff like that, where you don't have walking scores and it's literally just you and the other people that you're playing with keeping the score. That I may understand because it is your responsibility to go hole by hole after that round and then verify the scores.
Yeah.
So maybe on that level, I mean, they're about to roll back the ball for the entire thing. So just change for the PGA Tour and the Live Tour.
Well, and it's all digital now. If you go for an Open qualifier, U.S. Open qualifier, you're doing everything digital.
Yeah.
If you have fat fingers, I mean, it should be called the fat finger rule.
Yeah. There you go. Just came up with it right then and there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. The fat finger rule.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're seeing that in college. We host a lot of college tournaments out there at Bay Point, and you're starting to see, for the live scoring purposes. Now that's not your official score. That card is not official until you turn in your signed card with a score and in a test. Right. But yeah, just some wild stuff there. But
did Jordan have a chance to be in contention this weekend? It seemed like he was playing.
He was definitely making a cut. I mean, I can't remember what he was when he got DQ'd. I could go back and look, but I don't know. I do know that I'm very disappointed in Patrick Cantlay, and that's the last time I'll ever bet on him. I was looking for somebody on Sunday to take some action on to potentially win the tournament, and I took Patrick Cantlay. He had a 2-stroke lead. He was only minus 105, so it felt like, he wasn't like minus 220 or anything like that. And then he ended up shooting one over, but then found out after the tournament he ended up having a 100-degree fever and flu-like symptoms. But you know what? He didn't quit. He pushed through it.
He sure did.
He's trying to win that $4 million. And that's the difference. When you got $1 billion, it doesn't matter quite as much.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, $1 billion is a lot of money.
How about Zalatoris almost pulling this?
Yeah, it's good to see him back in the mix. That's for sure. Old Happy Gilmore's caddy making some noise. And at one point on the back nine, I think you had 5 players tied at 14 under par. But yeah, Hideki Matsuyama shooting a tournament record in the final round, 62. He made 3 birdies to start his round, and then he made 6 birdies on the back 9, shooting a course record 30 on the back 9 at Riviera. And again, I know you didn't watch any of the golf tournament, but man, if you did, those fairways were tight and the rough was long, and Patrick Cantlay couldn't find any of those. So Patrick, congratulations to 2021, I think, Masters champion Hideki Matsuyama for winning $4 million in the FedEx Cup signature event there. Will Zalatoris, as you mentioned, and Luke List tied for second at 14 under par. Adam Hadwin and Patrick Cantlay at 13 under par to round out your top. You also had Xander Schauffele, who had some excitement there in the beginning. Go ahead, dude.
Lynn Haven Rob texted in what he was trying to get on the air with us. If you're keeping your own score and you put down the wrong score and sign it, that brings in question about your integrity.
Well, you don't keep your own score. You exchange scorecards with the players in your group before you go out and play. So you are keeping, if me and Jay are playing in a grouping, I'm keeping Jay's score, he's keeping my score, and then we're also keeping our own score on a markers tab on that scorecard as well. So then when you verify each score at the end of the hole, and at the end of the round, you go through it hole by hole. You're not actually responsible what it adds up for. You're responsible for each score hole by hole. So if you were to add it up and say it was a 67 when it was really a 68, that's not what you get disqualified for. You get disqualified for the individual, like on hole 5, if Jay signed for a 3 where he really had a 4, that's what you get disqualified for. So you are, but I mean, that's one of those things. Golf is purely a game of integrity, and especially on the amateur side of things, it's you. It's up to you. And all it takes is a couple bad apples to get together and make some bad decisions, and then the whole integrity of the entire tournament that you're in is compromised. We got our top of the hour coming up. We're going to try something new and fun. We appreciate Jay's boy Cliff letting us know to try this out. So we're going to be calling it the Afternoon Delight Debrief. We're going to have some random. That's a good one. Two words at once. They're crazy and random. Some wild story that Jay is going to read about, and then we'll discuss it. But when we get back, you guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll be right back.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a high near 59 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a very light wind and a temperature of 43. About the same tomorrow, around 61 with sunshine and a wind at 5 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest. Quite warm with a high around 65 and sunny Wednesday. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia during the President's Day sales event going on now and drive away the new 2024 Kia. Now offering 4.25% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sportage. You get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sportage with $2,267 per month per 1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 3/4/24.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know. You're out!
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Live and local, as is the Coach James Hale Show and the Afternoon Underdogs every day, Monday through Friday, right here on 104.3 in ESPN Northwest Florida in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the Forgotten Coast. You can also check us out on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Download that free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And then last but not least, we started a TikTok page. So go follow us on TikTok. That is inside.drive. If you can't find it, just go to today's live show on Facebook. It is posted there in the comments. You can click the link that'll take you directly to that TikTok page and give us a follow and check out some of the fun videos we've posted. We're going to be posting all sorts of clips from the show about many of the funny moments that have transpired and will transpire, and also give you some behind-the-scenes action here at the studio on ESPN Northwest Florida. Also want to give a shout-out to our studio sponsor. That is Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. You can find them at the corner of Frankfort Avenue and 23rd Street. Lots of new vehicles in stock. They also got a big scratch and dent sale going on from that storm that happened a little over a month ago. It's also not all the vehicles got scratched and dent, but they're doing sales on all of them. So go check them out. That's Bill Kramer GM. Last but not least, you can check out Kramer Marine and Outdoor right behind Bill Kramer GM. Lots of new boats in stock. You can pick up a whole package. You can pick up a truck, a trailer, and a boat all in one place. Not very many places you can make that happen. Somebody just followed on us on TikTok there, Jay. So let's keep that going. That's for sure. I'm not a big TikToker, but I'm going to try to figure this whole thing out. I got a teenager, so I feel like I got some guidance, and I got a person that can help us out. But yes, Bill Kramer, or Kramer Marine and Outdoor, selling Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and now selling Skeeter boats. You can check all those out at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. They'll come fix your boats. They have mobile service all over the Panhandle. They'll get your boat back out on the water if you need just a couple things going on, or all the way up to a full repower. They'll get you back out on the water. They'll sell you a boat for you. They'll do pretty much anything you could possibly need. That's Kramer Marine and Outdoor. Again, you can check them out at the corner of Frankfort and 23rd Street. All right. Thanks to our good friend Cliff. We're going to start trying a new segment when we don't have a guest at 12 p.m., which I think our only regularly scheduled guest is Keith Fleming on Wednesdays at 12 p.m. We're going to call it, and again, thanks to Cliff for letting us know, it's going to call the Afternoon Delight Debrief, and we are going to find some crazy Florida man wild story, not necessarily having to do with sports, and Jay's going to read it for us, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit, and this should be entertaining and fun, so make sure you tune in for the whole show, but always at 12 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone, 1 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. All right, Jay, what do we got?
Well, can I start out by saying that there's a disclaimer here about the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Good idea.
CDC.
Good idea.
Brother worked.
Your brother used to work for the CDC.
Right. Until he decided to travel the country and buy an RV and whatever.
But, maybe he'd been doing this and decided it wasn't a good idea.
So the CDC recommends you cook chicken to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
165, yep, absolutely.
Not medium rare?
Eating raw or undercooked chicken could put one at risk of contracting a foodborne illness from salmonella.
Yes.
Officials estimate about 1 million people get sick from eating contaminated poultry every year. Now, I said that to say this. This is by 92.5 WPAP.
Yeah, right here locally in Panama City.
A Florida man is blowing up on Instagram on eating raw chicken every day for 100 days or until he suffers an illness. The bold social media star, who only identifies himself as John, embarked on this strange venture on January 19th.
So he's a month into this.
He's a month into this. When he uploaded his first video on the account Raw Chicken Experiment, as the caption indicates, he plans on consuming uncooked poultry until he gets a tummy ache. John records himself chowing down on bare chicken breasts along with a serving of raw egg yolks in a cup. Sometimes he'll switch up his content for different stunts, special occasions, or even holidays. For Valentine's Day, he helped himself to pieces of chicken stuffed in a heart-shaped chocolate box, Ryan.
Whew. Everything about this makes me nauseous.
In his 25th upload, he stuffs chicken, lettuce, croutons, and other ingredients into a blender and creates a juice.
That's terrible.
That is not good. The emotions I've seen the last few weeks over chicken is extremely interesting. He wrote in the post, "Who knew we had so much anger in our hearts over the temperature of a stranger's bird?"
That's a lot to take in.
Look, if I'm cooking chicken and I put it on the counter, man, I am bleaching that thing. I'm putting Windex, carpet cleaner, I'm putting everything on it.
Except for bleach?
I'm putting bleach on top of carpet cleaner.
There you go. Carpet cleaner, huh?
I'm giving it the...
Giving it the whole kitchen sink.
Giving it the whole kitchen sink.
For sure.
This guy's crazy.
I mean, I've heard of the raw egg thing, right? That's actually fairly common. It's, heavy, rich in protein, all that stuff. But I feel like if you cook it, it doesn't make the protein content go down or anything like that. Yeah. But my initial thoughts on this whole situation is people will do anything for attention on social media. I mean, it's like you mentioned in the beginning of the post, or the beginning of the segment, you're not supposed to eat raw stuff.
No.
There's some things you can. Like oysters, if that's your thing. I love a raw oyster with the right hot sauce on it. Only hot sauce to use is Crystal there on a raw oyster, in my humble opinion anyway. But raw chicken, just stomaching and being able to eat a raw chicken breast, I don't think I could do.
No.
Regardless of the health risks that you are taking in that situation.
Well, have you ever had Slap Your Mama hot sauce?
I've had Slap Your Mama seasoning.
Oh, you gotta get the hot sauce. You might be like...
That seasoning is hot.
Well, the hot sauce, they got different flavors
Gotcha.
of it. The biggest fan is the green hot sauce for me, the jalapeno hot sauce. I love that no matter what the brand is.
Yeah.
But try that Slap Your Mama one time, and it might
change
give you a new crystal ball, if you
I'll
will.
have to get a holster for my hot sauce and go into restaurants at Oysters
There you
and
go.
spin it out and dip it on the... I only do hot sauce, though. I don't do all that other crazy stuff. No crackers.
Horseradish and all that good
just
stuff.
the hot sauce.
But, so do we know how this guy's, feeling?
He's still going.
He's still going. So, hey, the body is an amazing thing. So if you're introducing it to raw chicken, then I guess maybe it gets used to that. I don't know. This is wild. I'm sure. I don't think I would be a fan. I don't even like smoked salmon or whatever.
Yeah.
You know how they'll pass that off at sushi or whatever at some places, at a lot of places here in America. Not a big fan of that texture. I could not imagine biting into like a little raw chicken. And I always joke about, I like my chicken medium rare. I do joke like that, but no, let it be white all the way through.
Yeah.
And I've drinking some raw eggs a couple of times, but it's not something that I want to continue to do.
You're not doing it 6 days a week.
No.
I had dated this girl just north of Macon, Georgia, out in the country, if you will, but she's off the beaten path, and her dad owns this chicken farm, and I'm talking this thing is probably...
the real deal chicken farm.
I'm talking
in the long,
hundreds of acres.
Yep.
And so our first date was, going out to this chicken farm, and
which is the dream first date of most couples.
it was great. And so he's responsible to getting all these chickens to Chick-fil-A. I mean, this is So
Jay's stories are so great.
I mean, this is true. This is legit true.
We never doubt the validity of your stories, because you can't make stuff like that up.
So she asked me. Yeah, she asked me. She said, "Do you want to check out a chicken house?" And I'm like, "Sure." She opens the door, and I promise
that smell that hit you.
I fell to the ground. I mean, it was
nitrogen, or what? I don't know I think it's nitrogen, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's from the time the little chicken. We've talked about this before, I think, but the time it's born to 21 days later, it's being consumed by someone 21 days later. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
but no, I'm not eating that chicken raw, especially after going to a chicken farm and seeing it. Yeah, that's not
seeing the real deal.
Yeah, the real deal.
Poof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say you're starting to see a lot more people getting chickens, but that's for eggs, because the price, the inflation and all that stuff. I don't think people are getting chickens so they can slaughter their own chickens and get the chicken breasts and debone and all that stuff, because, I mean, that's a task. I will say my mom, she spent some time in the summers down in Florida with her grandmother, and she had a chicken farm, and she was responsible for knocking the old heads off the chickens. And she said you'd knock the head off the chicken, it would go upside down, the blood would drain out, and then you'd be good to go.
Man.
But she said a lot of times they would, because the nervous system is still firing, even though you don't have a brain, so those chickens would run around a little bit. But yeah, I just
running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
The saying is real, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could get just one piece of chicken down that's not cooked.
I couldn't either. I mean, even the nugget. Even the nugget.
Yeah, just chopped up chicken breast
for $1 million.
$1 million, I could probably get it down. That's a lot of money. I think there's probably somewhere around, what's your threshold?
No, I don't know.
I would probably do it for, like, honestly, and I don't really... It's not like I do anything for money. Like,
you're not one of those people,
But I mean, you say, like, if you were to be like $10,000, like, to eat this, I would probably be like, well, let me pray on this real quick. But $10,000 could be beneficial to a lot of different people.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot. That's why I want to know where your threshold is.
Well, I'm not a texture person by any means.
Like, you don't like texture, or texture doesn't bother you?
No, that doesn't bother me, but it seems like the texture of a slimy chicken would bother me.
I feel like I'd rather just try to down it like an oyster than actually chew it.
Yeah, that's what I would have to.
The chewing part just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Now, maybe if you get a small enough cube, you could just swallow it.
Yeah, it just depends on the weight, how many grams of that particular piece of chicken. Are you allowed to season it, or
That's true.
He's just he's just straight up. He's just chicken breast down the hatch, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, there's no time. I'd like to see how many followers this guy's got.
Oh, I'm sure it's a ton.
Yeah,
because like I said, people nowadays will do anything to go viral on social media, and clearly anything includes eating raw chicken for 100 straight days or until you get sick first.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to try to do this once a day, and if anybody has any stories that they want us to dive into in the Afternoon Delight debrief, please feel free to send them to us. You can send them to us on our ESPN Northwest Florida Facebook page or on our newly founded TikTok page. But yes, Jay, we appreciate you reading that story, and 92.5 WPAP, we appreciate sharing that story as that found out. Yeah, he's just straight up got a chicken breast and he's biting it.
Yeah,
I see the picture now here on the website. But
we want his last name. I don't know why he's just being referred to as John.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do this and try to get all this attention, you got to at least have your full name out there, right?
Yeah.
I got to imagine.
I concur.
Yeah, that's not. You're not committed to this if you're really doing that. It takes me,
I don't know. He seems pretty disciplined and committed in the act of raw chicken.
You think one of the days he's like, I really don't want to do this today, but you know what? I set the tone. I got all these people waiting for me.
Yeah.
I guess that's another reason why you do stuff on social media, right? It's accountability. Well, I never thought I'd be talking accountability on eating 100 days worth of raw chicken, but
stupid ability.
Yeah.
That's brutish.
Well, the guy that ate McDonald's every day.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, the documentary Super Size Me. Yeah, that didn't go too well for him.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
I don't remember what happened, but
he gained a lot of weight, and his
he got supersized.
His cholesterol and all that went through the roof.
Did it?
But did you know, not to talk about Chick-fil-A and McDonald's, but I'm going to, is actually McDonald's is healthier than Chick-fil-A for you.
Yikes.
Yeah, if you actually dive down into the ingredients and the contents,
Isn't that the perception?
But that's how marketing works, right? Yep. You think because of the way they market themselves that they are in fact healthier. But, that's just how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some wild stuff there.
What do they say when they at Chick-fil-A? What do they say?
My pleasure.
My pleasure.
I say thank you like 1,000 times when I go to Chick-fil-A just to see if they're how committed they really are. I feel like you're starting to see a little less committing to the my pleasure as you used to as we move on in time. And I could be wrong about that, but I'll say thank you after I place my order. I'll say thank you when they hand it to me, and I'll say thank you and have a good day. And
I used to go to the one in Atlanta next to the corporate office. So them.
Is that the OG?
That's the OG. Like you got to be on your my pleasures.
The little one. Like in
Hateville?
Yes, I've been there. Yeah. That place is pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow. But they have a huge parking issue. It's right there by the airport. And man, I mean, there's Atlanta cops there, bringing people in and out because you got a busy intersection.
Now, I will say the logistics of a Chick-fil-A are always top notch. They move people in and out.
They do.
Like you see a long line there, you're like, hey, you know what? It won't take that long. They're usually pretty fast. So
that's true. There's probably somebody sitting in one right now.
Oh, there's a lot of people sitting in one. It's 12:15. They are packed out. That is for sure.
Yeah,
that is for sure. But good stuff.
Should Chick-fil-A dive into this guy's diet?
Ooh, good question.
This is called Chick-fil-A sushi.
There you go. There you go. Now I do like tuna. I will eat tuna raw. I think that's pretty good. But stuff coming out of the sea versus a chicken house is two different things in my opinion.
And they look so similar though.
I know it's true. Ahi tuna though is that nice, beautiful red color.
Yeah.
usually coming from a yellowfin tuna or maybe a bluefin tuna. But some people eat their steak raw. Tartare, as they would say.
Yeah, you got to have it a little bit, like, I don't like it cold at all. Like, it's got to be.
So you're a medium rare guy or you're a medium?
Just medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's as you get older, though. I mean, it used to be charred all the way back, 20 years ago. Oh,
hockey puck steaks?
Oh, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. What about you?
Medium rare all day, every day.
Cold?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, medium rare is a warm pink center, whereas rare is a cold red center. Because rare is still like seared basically on both sides. Now, prime rib, I'll take a prime rib rare and blackened all day.
Yeah.
Just because the flavor's so good. But yeah, not chicken. Like my chicken cooked to that 165-degree internal temperature. Mm-hmm. And if you've taken a Serve Safe food class, you know exactly what temperature all those types of meat have to be cooked to for them to be considered safe.
Right.
Although you never know nowadays what they're telling us is safe and not safe. So
this is changes all the time.
It changes all the time, absolutely. And I don't know. We'll jump into some college baseball here in the next segment. We got a few minutes left in this segment. We appreciate you listening to the Afternoon Delight debrief, but I know you guys saw both of it. But Parker Byrd made history with the East Carolina baseball team this past weekend, the opening weekend of college baseball, being the first Division I baseball player to play with a prosthetic leg. Thought that was pretty darn cool. I've got an article on it. I did have an article on it, but I got distracted by the chicken there, Jay. He lost his leg, if I'm not mistaken, in a boating accident back in 2022, and has since got a prosthetic leg and plays on the East Carolina baseball team.
Very cool.
What do you think about that?
That is unbelievable.
Pretty impressive feat, that's for sure. And, we talk about it with the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance all the time, is a lot of the guys and gals that you guys are working with are either, partially paralyzed, have prosthesis. Danny, historic, we know everybody loves Danny. Yeah. He's got, I think his right leg was amputated from about halfway from the middle of his thigh down. Yeah. And he gets up in the paramobile and he hits the heck out of it.
Sure does.
He's funny too.
Yeah,
he's just a good dude.
He is a good
old
dude.
Danny. Good people out there for sure. So he made some history this past weekend for East Carolina, who I believe went on to win I don't know if it was all three of their games. We'll talk about all these results. Where's ECU? Yeah, they won their first game 7-0 on Friday, so pretty cool.
Now, is this guy play in the field, or do you know what position he plays? Or
I knew you were going to ask me questions about that. I only know he came to the plate and hit, so I don't know what the situation is with running and all that. But yeah, he had to have run because you can't have that would be a significant change in rule there. That's for sure. But yeah, pretty cool to see. That name was Parker Byrd, combination of your son's first name and Gavin's last name.
That's right.
With BYRD too as well. Like Jonathan.
I can remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonathan Byrd. That's a name I haven't heard in quite some time.
A little PGA Tour player. I don't even know what he's doing. He's probably on the Live Tour.
Right. Yeah. Parker Byrd.
Yeah, Parker Byrd, that is for sure. We do have a caller on the line, but we've only got about 30 seconds left in this segment, so we'll take that call here in this next segment. We'll talk a little bit about college baseball. We'll talk a little bit about the NBA All-Star games that went down, and who do we think is going to be the Niners' new defensive coordinator? There's been some new names floating around there, and one of them I didn't really think about was Pete Carroll from the Seattle Seahawks. That would be wild if one of their biggest rivals from the last 10 years, head coach, ends up being the DC there. Yeah. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. When we get back, we'll be back with our caller for our final two segments of this beautiful Monday as it gets warmer every minute. Don't eat raw chicken. We'll see you when we get back.
The new app from ESPN Northwest Florida has up-to-the-minute sports news, interaction with local hosts in real time, easy download and no credit check, live streaming, real-time traffic and programming schedules, 40 miles per gallon, rack and pinion steering, leather interior, and built-in alarm clock.
Here's how to order.
Download our free app from the Apple Store and Google Play.
Dynamite!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, sunny and a temperature of 59 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west-northwest. Clear skies tonight, a calm wind and cool near 43. Sunny and 61 tomorrow. 65 and sunshine with a light breeze Wednesday. Thursday, some sun and a temperature about the same at 66. This is your Monday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I saw the MLB logo on the tab on my computer, and that's what threw me off, but that was, in fact, the tab that I had. So real quick, before we get to Lynn Haven Rob on the line, just wanted to let everybody know he had lost, this is, again, Parker Bird, the first ever Division I baseball player to appear in a baseball game in July 23rd of 2022, not even 2 years ago. He lost his right leg in a boating accident. Since then, he's had 22 surgeries in the wake of that accident to keep himself going. 16, the number on his East Carolina baseball jersey, which he dreamed of donning in a collegiate game. And 0 is the number of players that have ever appeared in a baseball game with a prosthetic leg. Bird, an incredible feat that gives hope to an untold number of people around the world who have lost limbs or suffered similar adversity, stepped into the batter's box as a pinch hitter during the 8th inning of ECU's 16-2 victory over Ryder in its season opener at Lewis Clark Field up there in East Carolina. He drew a walk, a fitting outcome for a man who surely feared he'd never walk again. Pretty inspirational, that's for sure there, Jay. His inspirational story led to an ad on a television commercial in Greenville, North Carolina that aired during the Super Bowl. It discusses his historic journey. So just goes to show you, never stop dreaming.
That's right.
Right, Jay?
Yep.
And now we got a good friend of the show on the line. That is Lynn Haven Rob. Rob, are you there? He is not.
Oh,
he's trying.
He is.
He's got to have something important to tell us.
He does.
I appreciate the effort to keep trying.
Yeah, he does have something important to tell you guys, and it's really just kind of the conversations that you guys have had. He wants to chime into those conversations,
definitely.
But something is going on with the system, so I will continue to try to work on that. Yeah, it's a good thing that we didn't have a whole lot of phone calls lined up for today, though, right?
Yeah, could have got a little dicey.
Silver linings.
Manic Monday. Always got to look at the silver linings. Always got to look at the positives. Because as we always say, Jay, when you wake up every morning, you got a choice, right?
That's right.
You can be positive or you can be negative.
That's exactly right.
What do you choose?
Positivity.
Positivity. Positive power is the most important thing, especially when you've got the big guy upstairs leading the way and giving you all that control. I'm going to say it one more time. We've got our new TikTok page for the Inside Drive. That is right there, inside.drive. If you can't find it searching through TikTok, just go to our Facebook page and check out the comments from today's live show, and you'll find the link to that right there.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR, Jay. Rained out, right?
Yeah, but they're testing rain tires, and
really,
they are testing.
Or
rain
as Jim
tires.
Carrey used to say, really. That's an interesting concept.
It would be. Here I am going back to the traditional. I hate to be the Debbie Downer here, but yeah, let's don't do that.
Don't race in the
it's like in Days of Thunder, right? You know, it's like Harry Hogg tells Tom Cruise, you race 50 laps my way, you race 50 laps your way, I guarantee you I'm going to come out on top. And Tom Cruise was all over the racetrack. And then Harry Hogg said, look, you know, you got to dial it down a little bit. And he was 8 seconds faster with,
there you go.
With that. So anyways, I said that. Say this, stay away from the rain tires. Keep NASCAR as it is. And Monday afternoon races on President's Day, 3 p.m. today. Not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing when it's a holiday. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's so basically what I got out of all of that is still keep DQing people for signing for a lower scorecard.
That's it. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You excited for Days of Thunder 2 that you brought up, Days of Thunder?
Did not know that.
There is a Days of Thunder 2 coming out, which is pretty exciting stuff.
Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. Hollywood Reporter said that he had declined a request to create a Days of Thunder series for Paramount and decided to make a Days of Thunder 2. It's expected to bring back the usual thrill and action in the theater with a sequel to Days of Thunder. Same director of Top Gun Maverick, indeed a movie that ignited the need for speed in everyone's mind. But that's not the only reason fans of Reddit were so excited. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
You quoted it.
Oh, it was a great movie. Great movie.
That was the era of the good movies.
Yes, it was. I mean, you can't make it. I mean, they're going to recreate
Twisters.
this.
Days of Thunder 2. There's another Top Gun coming out. Just what a time to be alive.
Absolutely.
What a time.
I think they're doing another Big Daddy, too, and calling it Granddaddy.
Ooh, that'd be good, too.
Yeah, Adam Sandler and Cole Sprouse. It's going to be on The Inn.
Nice.
Well, son of a gun.
There you go.
And Jay, you won't be able to watch it.
He didn't watch anything. That's for sure. That's for sure. And speaking of being able to watch stuff, I know there's only a few tickets left to that Dusty Slay comedy special over there at the Captain Anderson's Event Center on, I think it's April 26th, if I'm not mistaken. So,
all right, Dusty Slay.
That's why I bought extra ones.
Right.
You know, trying to make a little margin, some extra cash in the secondary market on comedy shows.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
But
he's a good one.
Having a good show.
Yeah, you got to check him out.
You do. You haven't even checked them out. The only thing you checked out is a couple YouTube clips. You don't have Netflix, do you?
No, I have been. I don't, but I have been checking out the YouTubes. And
ooh, good question. Would Travis texted this one in and said, to have a rain race, wouldn't they need windshield wipers too?
They would as well. Very good, Travis.
How does a windshield wiper work when you're going 180 miles an hour?
Oh, it's got to go fast.
No, you don't even use the
yeah, you just do some Rain-X and you're good to go.
That's the way to go.
That stuff will just fly right off. Probably don't even stick to the windshield because you're going so fast. So there you go. We just worked through that answer right there live on the air.
But it's the biggest spectator sport known to man. I mean, it's always been a huge spectator sport. I mean, people aren't going to really
What defines a spectator sport?
Well, just putting butts in the seats.
Aren't all sports spectator sports?
Yeah, but I mean, this is huge.
As big as soccer?
I think so. I mean,
whew, bold statement there.
I mean,
I don't think it is, but we'll go with it. But yeah, so the race is what, getting underway? You know what time it's getting underway?
3 p.m. Central.
3 p.m. Central. And is the nationwide race going on as we speak?
It is.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you were talking about earlier, not on the show, but you may have some drivers that are running both races.
Yeah.
That's a lot of action in one day.
You know, 500 represents 500 miles. I'm not sure what this nationwide is. I want to say maybe around 300. You may have guys racing 800 miles today, which is almost like the 24 hours of Le Mans.
That is.
Basically.
That is.
Kind of.
David Hayes, he looked like he got something.
When you say nationwide, are you meaning the Xfinity Series?
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Are they racing right now, though?
At 10 a.m. this morning.
Oh, was it? I thought it was 9 p.m. tonight. No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm trying to look it up, but their NASCAR's website is very, very, very confusing. Oh, the Daytona 500. No, they haven't even updated on their website. Their marketing team needs to do a better job.
I know a guy.
Do you? Yeah. You know a marketing guy with NASCAR? And we haven't got him on the show.
According to the Daytona News Journal, so I guess I saw from my NASCAR guy 9 p.m., but it was 9 a.m. is what he meant to say. So I haven't even looked. That's why I was just trying to get clarification for myself so that later on if I'm having a segment with him, I'm like, yeah, so you got to stay up all night, don't you? That's what it had me curious. I was like, said, hey, appreciate you, Jay.
There you go.
You got it.
So you know a marketing guy with NASCAR?
Yeah, so Char Cormier, who is a former manager, boss of mine with in the golf business, he's head pro at a place in northern Michigan.
It is 9 p.m. tonight, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, well, that's great. That's prime time. That's
so
great.
8 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
So you can watch racing all the way from 3 p.m. our time until What?
There you go.
3 hours?
Yeah.
So going till 11?
That makes my day right there. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, his son is one of the marketing guys for NASCAR.
Well, maybe you should get him on the line so we can do an interview.
I can do that.
That would be a good idea.
I can do that. He listens to our show.
Well, there you go. He can listen to our show and talk on the show at the same time as well.
He wants an appearance fee, though, whenever he wants to. I'm like, nah,
tell me, give him a free lesson.
He don't need a lesson.
That was a good stick.
Yeah, he played in the Buick Open back in the day.
Dang.
And, Monday qualified, and that's a great story. Great story. But
So who do you like today in the main race there?
Man, it's so up for grabs. I mean, like I said earlier, the Fords aren't good, side by side, like in open air. But then the Toyotas are so sleek looking and so low to the ground that the draft. So I would pick a Toyota if I'm picking someone. I don't know who. I mean, just pick a Toyota.
Kyle Busch.
Anybody. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see.
You should be impressed that I know Kyle Busch drives a Toyota.
There you go. Joe Gibbs. Is it Joe? Is it
Joe Gibbs Racing?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, don't take it beyond what I already know.
Right.
I was trying to feel good about myself there.
Yeah, but it'll be fun to watch this afternoon.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Waiting for the big one.
It's bound to happen, right?
It
Inevitable.
is. It is
Inevitable. Always going to happen.
Well, they don't. They're flipping again. I mean, they didn't flip for a few years, and they had a flip the other night in the Craftsman Truck Series race.
How come? Just the design of the car?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got it to where
those little things popped up on top.
Yeah,
kept it on the ground.
Yeah. But man, they're so secure in them things now till it's hard for them to even get hurt. But it's
terrifying nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, the question was asked. I mean, are they athletes? Is a race car driver considered an athlete? I think so. I mean,
I don't know how you couldn't consider that an athlete.
Yeah, you got to use your reflexes alone. I mean, can you imagine?
Hand-eye, your strength.
Yep.
To hold on to that car for however long that is.
That's
that's intense.
It is.
Your focus. I know you couldn't drive one. Your focus would just take you off the track.
Squirrel. Oh, there's a wall.
Boom. Just right.
I mean, just taking the curve right here at the Hathaway. If you're too wide going into that curve, man, it's like I'm white knuckling it around the curve, and I'm going 45.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm going 45.
You're going more than that.
No,
because everybody
speed limit's 35 right there.
Is it?
Yep.
You're talking about going by to college?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, I think it's 35.
Oh, I think you are right about that. Ridiculous as it is.
So that's a speed trap if I've ever seen one. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, it's like 23rd now is like 35 for a bit, 45 for a bit. You never know.
That's like 98. It's 45, 55, 45, 55. Changes from 45 and you're going 60. Boom. Now you're 15 over. $180 fine.
Just like that.
Just like that. There's no points.
And then when you go and try to pay it same day, they're like, "Oh, it's not processed yet." Not that I know, but you got to wait 24 hours.
Got to wait to make sure you can pay that ticket. That is for sure. But
dude, I got a ticket in the mail for like passing a sun pass or whatever, and it said I was in Pinellas, and I got a picture of it. No, I know it is because I get a picture of it, and it's a Dodge. I'm like, did y'all not even can't we just have someone to proofread these pictures at least so you could just be like, registration says Chevrolet. This picture is of a Dodge. Like, there we go. So I don't think that it was false necessarily. Like, I think it's from the DMV. Like, actually,
somebody
DMV,
got the Chevy one,
but
that had the Dodge.
I mean, I haven't been in St. Pete in a while, so there's no way that it could have been. But the license plate had like a little smudge on it, so that's where they. But still, like, that's a waste of people's time. And what if people didn't do their due diligence and look at the picture real quickly, and then they're just paying because it's
a way to make extra money.
It's a $3 fine.
Yeah.
But then I have this. I'm gonna call them today because I just saw it over the weekend. I'm going to call them today, and I have this feeling that they're going to be like, okay, well, for $5, we'll erase it. So you want me to pay $3.50 to admit guilt of something I didn't do, or pay $5 for my freedom? Like, come on.
I got a parking ticket. Never been to Miami, Florida ever in my life. Got a parking ticket in the mail a few weeks ago to contact a lawyer in Miami. I called the 305 number, which is a South Florida area code. And the ladies want me to pay for the parking ticket. I said, lady, I've never been to Miami. Like, I mean, it was such a scam. It was such a scam.
But, I mean, that's kind of how it all works, I guess.
Yeah.
But, interesting. The new AP poll for men's college basketball came out, and despite Auburn getting beat by Kentucky, only ended up being by 11, but they were up by almost 20 points, and Kentucky looked strong against that one. That was Auburn's third home loss in 3 years, their first home loss this season. Just didn't come out firing. It's kind of Auburn's MO. They either come out firing or they don't. And when they don't come out firing, they get behind and they lose. But new number one, I don't think it's a new. Yeah, it's a new number one because Purdue got upset by Ohio State, but they only dropped down to the number 3 spot. You got UConn at number 1, Houston at number 2, Arizona 4, 5 Tennessee. I know Auburn and Alabama both still have to play Tennessee to finish out the regular season. Iowa State, the home of Brock Purdy, number 6, Marquette 7, Duke 8, Kansas dropped down to 9, North Carolina 10. David Hayes is picked to win the national championship. Baylor at number 11, the Fighting Illini at number 12. The Alabama Crimson Tide jump ahead of Auburn at the number 13 spot, leading the SEC despite those 7 losses. But South Carolina had another hiccup as well, and so did Auburn. So Auburn's at number 14, Creighton at 15, Dayton Flyers at 16. Kentucky went from 22 to 17 with that win over, at the time, 12th ranked Auburn. St. Mary's at 18, San Diego State, the Aztecs at number 19, South Carolina at the number 20 spot, dropping about, I want to say they were at 11-ish when they played Auburn to start last week. And then you got Washington State at number 21, Colorado State
Pac-2, baby.
at number 12, or at number 22. Yeah, the Pac-2 holding in there tight. They have 2 teams in there? Who's the other team in the Pac-12? Oregon State. Beavers aren't playing good basketball.
Yeah.
Texas Tech at number 3. Florida sneaks into the top 25 at 24. And then BYU rounding out the top 25 at that 25th spot. UConn is riding the second longest streak at number 1 in school history, behind a 2-week stay during the 1998-1999 season. And they are continuing to hold down that number 1 spot. They've won 14 straight games, the current longest streak in men's Division I basketball. So that is your updated AP poll for men's basketball there. We talked on Friday about Caitlin Clark breaking the record.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, fun fact, nobody cares, but I'm going to tell you anyway, Brock Purdy is really good friends with Caitlin Clark's brother. They met at college, and he's actually going to be in Brock Purdy's wedding. So there's a connection between Brock Purdy and Caitlin Clark.
Now,
even though he's significantly older.
Is she the one that went up against Steph Curry in the...
No.
That is not.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that was not. And I do have that one. Where did that go? Because we can talk about that.
I did see her. She put up some threes.
She put up 26 points right off the get-go, and then Steph Curry had to go lights out to put up 29 points to go ahead and win that thing. Sabrina, what is her last name?
Ionescu.
There you go, Sabrina Ionescu. And there's been rumors that she wants to team up with Caitlin Clark and tell Steph Curry to find a partner so that they can go head-to-head.
Where's the All-Star? All right, dude, I don't care. I'm going to be going off today on the Afternoon Underdogs about the All-Star game because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people who probably watched like 2 basketball games this year and want to put their 2 cents in, which is completely fine. That's what we're entitled to do. But where's the All-Star game at next year? It's in Golden State. Who's coming to the WNBA next year? Caitlin Clark. Sabrina Ionescu. If they want to script this, they can. But I really love that felt so authentic between Curry and Ionescu. But here's the deal. Sabrina next year avenges her loss to Steph Curry. Caitlin Clark is also in that. It's going to be 2v2 type deal, but it's not really 2v2. It's 1v1. You got Curry versus Ionescu, and then you've got Klay Thompson versus Caitlin Clark. And then in the championship, Caitlin Clark might beat Klay Thompson, and then Ionescu beats Steph Curry.
Awesome.
Ionescu versus Caitlin Clark for the title. I saw someone recommend Angel Reese to get in that. I was like, did you even research that before? She shoots like less than 20% from the three. That's not her game.
She's an inside player, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And no shade on Angel Reese. She is a beast. That's just not the facet of her game.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, I hadn't watched the NBA All-Star game and the competitions in quite some time. But, Mac McClung back-to-back. He dunked over Shaq.
Ooh.
That's getting up there.
That is.
That's getting up there. That's like you dunking over, I don't know.
It's like Mac McClung dunking over Shaq.
Yeah. No, you dunking over Wembanyama. No, not quite.
I couldn't reach his forehead.
Yes, you could. You still got the ups. You're good.
No.
You're balling out there all the time. You just built a basketball hoop.
Yeah, well. That's as far as it goes.
Hey, you got to shoot on it. Have you shot on it already?
A little bit.
Who made the first shot?
Parker.
Parker did. Had to christen it, right?
Yeah.
Get that.
But that bolt has an 1/8 of an inch right there. The bolt that puts the rim in there or whatever.
Yeah.
I went a little tighter. I probably went.
So the rim's a little stiff.
It's stiff.
It's not a very forgiving rim.
Yeah. Which. Right. You don't want a forgiving rim at all.
No. It's almost like hitting a golf ball off a mat.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah, you can drop kick it on the mat and it still goes good. If the rim's real forgiving and it bounces around and goes in, that's not a real. And when you play on a real rim, no, 100%.
I like to see the ball hit the back of the rim and bounce, a good 3-4 feet up in the air.
Test your rebounding skills.
That's right.
There you go. And speaking of rebounding skills, we'll be back for our final segment of today's Inside Drive. Go follow us on TikTok, inside.drive. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
The fact that you then fire the defensive coordinator 3 days later after your defense kept you in that game, they played great. Kyle Shanahan takes the ball in overtime, doesn't use his timeouts at the end of the first half. Play calling in the third quarter was horrendous. Play calling in the overtime was inconsistent. Kyle Shanahan does all those things and then fires one of his coordinators 3 days later. It doesn't pass the smell test.
Greeny. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's nothing more satisfying than helping you find the perfect vehicle. And this month, find something you love at just 2.99% APR on our most popular models. Plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Like the 2024 Camry with stylish good looks and impressive performance. Or the 2024 Corolla, built for comfort and style with top-notch tech. Panama City Toyota. For over 30 years, where relationships are born.
Offer expires March 4th. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
My name is Linda Cope, founder and president of Warrior Beach Retreat. Line the streets February 22nd to honor the men and women who have served and sacrificed for the freedoms we enjoy. Attend the ceremony, which is free and open to the public, February 22nd at 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church of Panama City. Colonel Alan West will be the speaker. Information for the parade route and ceremony are on our website, warriorbeachretreat.org. Never forget, freedom isn't free. We saw this firsthand after our son, Army retired Sergeant Joshua Cope, lost both legs above the knee and wounded his hands by an IED blast in Baghdad, Iraq. When a soldier goes to war, a family goes to war. We are a local 501c3 charity not affiliated with Wounded Warrior Project. Donations are needed and much appreciated for us to continue the vision to bring hope and healing for the combat wounded warriors and their loved ones. God bless you all, and God bless America.
You hear it first. Sports talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
It all seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot air, so hot it hurts. So hot air.
And welcome back. Jay Henley's theme song. Every time he walks into a bar or a restaurant, everybody looks up and says, God, it just got a lot hotter in here. There is
so
no...
true.
It is so true. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Y'all are funny.
Shout out to the DJ. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It is our final segment of this Monday. It's getting warmer every second out there, and it's supposed to warm up throughout the week. So I feel like we're close, Jay. I feel like we're close to those outdoor activities being a lot more comfortable. And speaking of some of those outdoor activities, the Water Sound Invitational is going on over there at Shark's Tooth Golf Club. That tournament started a few years ago as the Camp Creek Seminole Invitational, which I was proud to be a part of, working with Coach Trey Jones when I was over there working with the team there at St. Joe. But the tournament gets underway today. It runs through the next 2 days. I'm going to see if maybe we can get Coach Jones on the line in the next couple of days. Maybe not the next couple of days, but maybe recapping the tournament later on this week. And it's time to get Amy Bond as well, the head women's golf coach of Florida State University, back on the line as well, as they've got some serious talent this year. They got talent every year, but Lottie Wode, Charlotte, a couple of them are really off to a hot start this year. As we know, the fall golf season, it counts, but it doesn't count. This is the actual season that counts towards NCAA regionals, your conference championships, then you got NCAA regionals, then you got the national championship. And the national championship is at a new venue this year as Greyhawk ended its 3-year contract last year. And I believe they're going under a renovation. But anyway, a lot of SEC schools in this one, and Florida State off to an okay start. There's only 12 total teams in this invitational, but they're even par through their 5 through 8 holes. And the reason why it says 5 through 8 holes is you've got the 5 players playing in the tournament, and obviously they're not all on the same hole at one time. So Florida State must have a lot competing as an individual, because they've actually got, looks like 8 players playing in this particular tournament, with their best round being 3 under par, and that is Gray Albright. But Leanne Schwartzentruber and Brian Haddad's Mississippi State Bulldogs are currently 9 under par through holes 9 through 12, with Vanderbilt, where our good friend of the program, Michael Shears, spent, 4 years before transferring? 3 years before transferring to Georgia. Yeah. And then UVA, the University of Virginia, is currently -3, and Notre Dame also at -3. The Rambling Wreck, Georgia Tech, -2. Linda Masker's Clemson Tigers holding it down at -2. And as like I said, Florida State, even par, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, Alabama, all at +1, and then NC State +11, and Penn State at +14. So what a field for this particular tournament. And I'm actually excited because Beth just is in the process of working with this couple she got connected to from Arizona. It turns out the guy's a neurosurgeon, Dr. Scully. What a name, right? To be a neurosurgeon, Dr. Scully. He played golf at Notre Dame. So we're going to get him on the line. He's good friends with Lou Holtz. He knows all about golf, and he's going to talk a little bit about the mental connection between the yips and how it works, what's going on in your brain. So you've
been holding this information out on me, huh?
I have. I wasn't actually ready to divulge it yet, but yeah, I saw Notre Dame there on this Water Sound Invitational. So I'm going to try to get him on in the next, probably 10 days or so, and talk a little golf, his time at Notre Dame, and how literally the mental aspects of the brain play into the golf world. But it's just funny how some people come into your lives, and with everything we got going on, and for her to get connected with him and them buying some real estate here in Panama City Beach was just pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's amazing how the big guy upstairs works. He just puts the right people in your life at the right time. That is for sure. They live out in Arizona, and they're going to have a little condo here in Panama City Beach. It's just a great place to have a condo and come visit and all that good stuff. But so Mississippi State off to a good start. Let's see over on the player leaderboard side of things. You've got Garrett Endicott. He's currently -4 through 10. Nate Stevens from Notre Dame. George Dwangmane from Virginia, Joseph Sarah, and Gray Albright. He is competing as an individual for Florida State. Jackson Van Paris, there's a name for you. Jackson Van Paris the fourth from Vanderbilt, and Thomas Ponder, we do know that name, from the University of Alabama, all -3. So some good golf to be played out there, because I know you've played Shark's Tooth before, Jay. Yeah. That golf course, when the greens are running fast and those pins are in tough positions, it can be very, very challenging. But they hosted the ACC Championship a couple years ago out there at Sharks too. So cool to see this event still be right here in our backyard with some of the top college programs in the country competing in this tournament. So good luck to all the boys from those various universities playing in that particular event. Some good stuff, that is for sure.
What's your favorite hole out there at Sharks?
My favorite hole, stereotypically, you would say the par 5 fifth hole. Just beautiful hole, long, or par 3 fifth hole. That you got all the water to the left. You're hitting over the marsh and all that
and
stuff.
The green slopes kind of back to front.
Or a little back to front, but very hard from right to left, going in there on that one. But, it's a great design golf course. Yeah. It's just got a lot of good holes. I will say probably one of my favorite holes out there, besides the par 3 14th, that par 3 along the only coastal dune lake in the country, right there on Lake Powell. That's a good one. But I love 18, too. Yeah. Just when you get to that back tee box on 18, the clubhouse is framed in the background. It's just a beautiful hole to hit a nice big old tee shot on.
Well, you know, Greg Norman's part of LIV, and that's a big Norman design. How is it that maybe LIV hasn't secured a spot over there? I mean,
I don't know. I think
a great spot.
Yeah, it would be. That's a whole other ballgame, though, when it comes to hosting a
logistics.
Logistics. And typically, you have to, unless there's a huge major title sponsor, it's a lot of money to host those events. I don't know how the LIV Tour works compared to the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry and stuff like that, but I've been involved in hosting some professional tournaments. And like, if you're going to host a Korn Ferry Tour event and you don't have, like when they used to host the Boeing Classic over there at the Raven in Sandestin, it was a senior tour event, but you needed a sponsor for about $1 million to host that event. So you got to weigh, is it worth it from a marketing standpoint? And they did it obviously to sell lots and that kind of stuff. But, you know, when you host a PGA Tour, a Champions Tour, Korn Ferry, an LPGA Tour, whatever event it may be, it's more a marketing play for that particular golf course to say you've hosted it, but also to put eyes on it with TV. So typically you're ponying up a lot of money unless there's a sponsor you can find that wants to sponsor it. And that's where the PGA Tour now, you're starting to see a little bit things change. The Wells Fargo is pulling out of the Wells Fargo up there at Quail Hollow. Farmers Insurance won't be involved in Torrey Pines anymore, and there's a few more as well that is certainly going into. It's just it's a lot of money.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, and you know, it is a lot of logistics. You got parking, you got the grandstands, and you know, some golf courses just don't have the room to host those kind of events. But yeah, it'd be certainly cool to see right here in Panama City Beach. There's no doubt about that. Speaking of golf, one of the things that went down over the you didn't see it because you weren't watching the tournament, but legendary golf commentator Jim Nantz slammed Hideki Matsuyama and had a few words for the internet rules sleuths who thought Hideki Kama was up to no good during the final round of the Genesis Invitational. I thought it was actually pretty funny by Jim. He did a good job with it. So they had zoomed in on Hideki, and you'll know this rule because you've been in golf your whole life. You know, the ball was in the Kikuyu rough. So he was kind of soling the club behind it. And yes, the golf ball was moving, but it was moving where it was sitting. Versus the rule of golf states the ball has to leave where it's sitting in order for it to be considered move and warrant a penalty stroke. So Jim Nantz, while live, they were zooming in on this. They said they're playing a game of gotcha. They think Matsuyama with Matsuyama behind the 17th a moment ago saying, hey, that ball moved. That isn't right. Let's bring in some reasoning here, Deuce. And then they talked about the rule and all that stuff. But he's like, they're playing a game of gotcha, which I thought was pretty fun.
That is pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, unless that ball moves out of where it's resting, and it can move and roll back into that resting spot too, and it's not considered moved.
Well, and that's my thing. You almost feel like, and I've had times where the spotlight, you feel like you're on, because you're playing in a tournament, and then you rest the putter behind the ball. We're talking about on the green, Ryan, and you accidentally, like, the putter touches the ball, but the ball doesn't move.
Yeah.
Now, is that considered a stroke?
Now, they've changed that rule.
They have changed that rule.
Yeah, that's one of the rules they did change, where if you accidentally are, getting ready to address the ball and do that, and you touch the ball, it's not a penalty anymore. Because there was a couple people that famously had that happen too. Yeah. And, there's just so many stupid rules in golf.
I know.
Especially considering that DQ rule.
That in NHL.
Stupid. I did say the trapezoid rule was stupid, so yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That's for sure. Most of the top 25 baseball teams took care of business this weekend. You did have a few upsets. I know on Coastal Carolina ended up beating who'd they play? They played, why am I drawing
Indiana.
No, well, they played Indiana on Saturday, but they were playing the tournament that they've hosted for the last 22 years. And they beat, George Mason University. They beat them 26-0 in that opening game. And then I made the mistake not doing my research, realizing that Indiana was picked to finish second in the Big Ten. I lost a $10 bet to Max Delighted as I gave him 2.5 runs, and Indiana shut down Coastal Carolina behind some really good pitching. They won that one 7-2, and then Coastal had just a tough matchup on the Sunday game yesterday against number 12 Duke, and lost that one 5-3. But the previous game on Saturday, Duke, the number 12 team in the country, hit 11 home runs in one game on their rout of George Mason. So unfortunately, poor George Mason, they come into that Battle at the Beach tournament and end up giving 26 runs up to Coastal Carolina, and then I think it was 23 runs up to Duke, and then ended up losing to Indiana, fairly modesty. But I got to say it, my dad, because he's always we're always competing with UC Santa Barbara and Coastal Carolina. UC Santa Barbara, although they beat Campbell 20-0, 17 ranked team in the country, they beat them 20-0 on Friday. Ended up losing the next 2 games in that 3-game series. So the Campbell Camels ended up winning the series 2-1 against UC Santa Barbara. You also did have some upsets on that was what's this Friday? Yeah, on Friday you had the Florida Gators, the number 2 team in the country. You were talking about St. John's University earlier with Rick Pitino, right? Mm-hmm. They beat Florida 9-5 in that opening game, knocking off the number 2 team in the country, which was a pretty impressive victory there. Not so much of an upset on this one. 6-1 Arizona beat Northeastern, who was currently at the time ranked 23rd in the country. Texas Tech, they lost, but Tennessee was ranked number 9th. So not really, those are the kind of the first few upsets there on that Friday. And then yesterday on Sunday, you know, we were talking about James Madison University in football quite a bit. What's their mascot, Jay?
Oh, man.
Come on. You know this.
I don't.
It was the
Jayhawk? No.
The Dukes.
The Dukes, yeah, thank you.
You knew
okay.
that.
No,
Well, you had the epiphany during football season.
I appreciate your confidence in me.
I did have confidence there. You know, Lehigh beat, this is on Sunday yesterday, and that's what I love about ESPN Plus. If you went on ESPN Plus yesterday, there was 100 baseball games, college baseball games that you could watch, which I just think is so cool that you have the opportunity to watch your alma mater or just a college you may like if you pay for that ESPN Plus subscription. But number 20, Iowa, went down to Lehigh University. Do you know what state Lehigh's in, Jay?
I want to say Tennessee, but
incorrect.
That's Lee University. Lehigh.
Big wrestling team.
Indiana?
No.
Ohio.
But that was a good guess. Ohio's a good guess, too.
I'll say, I really don't know. I'm going to guess Pennsylvania.
He is correct.
I did not know that. I didn't. When he said wrestling, I was initially thinking Iowa, and then I thought about Val Solorio, who's a local wrestler around here, and I know that she's involved sometimes or was with Pennsylvania. So it was the tip that led me to that. Yep. I did not know that.
Yeah, Lehigh. I had a lot of friends from college or from high school that went to Lehigh University because it wasn't too far from home. Kind of right there, smack dab in the middle of the state. But they upset number 20 Iowa in that one. The last one I'll get to because it is 12:57 and it is time for us to go. You had the Arkansas Razorbacks, number 3 team in the nation, lose to James Madison University 7-3. So over the weekend series, you had both number 2 team and the number 3 team in the country both drop a baseball game. But baseball is much like basketball. You're going to lose games. It's just part of it. We appreciate you tuning in to the Inside Drive. Afternoon Underdogs coming up. You don't want to miss that one because David Hayes is going to be talking about the NBA All-Star Game and letting you know how it is. Go follow us on TikTok. That's inside.drive. We'll be back tomorrow for our show on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
It's here. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses.